and welcome back to Bella Luna Soapery. If you're new here, my name is Tanya and today we are making a cold process soap, an all natural one. It's going to be my turmeric and honey soap that I'm doing a remake on for a wholesale order. So unscented but still a really pretty soap. I love the design of this one and thought I would share how I made it and take you along with me. Alright, so today we are doing a remake of my turmeric and honey soap. This is an unscented soap, and I do have all my oils and butters melted down here. And then some honey that I have warmed up with a little bit of water just to make it easier to pour. So we're going to go ahead and get that in, along with our lye water. Which the lye water does have a little bit of lint on it, but it should all be able to be blended in here. So no big deal there. You can strain it out, and I might if this was older, but this is, I just made it up today. So it should blend in pretty easily. And that is looking good there so far. So we are going to pour a little bit of this off. We're going to have an accent color that is just basically lightened up with some coconut milk. That I have right here. I'm just gonna mix that up in the oil it's in a little bit before I pour any of our soap batter oils in. And you can see this already has a little bit of richness and color from the honey. That should be good there. And this won't have a big color difference, but it will add a little something. And then here I have our turmeric, which I'm also just going to give a little blend. Get some of that up off the bottom. And this will kind of give it a nice, rich, burnt orange color. Plus, turmeric has a lot of great benefits for your skin, especially if you have kind of oily skin. And we will be combining this with the rest of our batter. This is just going to make it easier to get it all kind of worked in there. And it won't stay this dark, which is a shame because it's a really pretty orange. Almost like a burnt red, but that'll lighten up some. And as far as the honey, you do about a teaspoon per pound of oils. I have about a tablespoon in there. And the honey will add some lather, but it will also sometimes speed up the trace of your soap. So that's just something to keep in mind. And you do also have to kind of be careful with the turmeric because it will stain things if you get it on there. And it will kind of, the honey, because it has the sugars in there, will also sometimes heat up your soap. So you got to be careful if you put a lid on your soap or insulate it in any way that you're keeping an eye on things so it doesn't overheat on you. And that looks pretty good there, but I am going to give it a quick blend just to be sure. And it is kind of a rainy, dreary day here today, so it's a great day to be just making some soap because it's kind of too gross to be outside, at least in my opinion. I do not like to get wet. I don't know that most people do, but I particularly do not enjoy it. And then I'm just gonna go around the sides here, make sure we got that all worked in. I think that looks really nice. And even though this is unscented, you do get like a little bit of a nutty scent from the cocoa butter and the coconut oil and sweet almond oil that are in there. So it still does have kind of a nice scent. It's just not anything extra that we're adding in essential oil wise. So that always also does make this a good soap that you can also use on your face if you have kind of oily skin. I wouldn't do it every day. It might be a little over drying for your face every day, but if it is something you suffer from as far as oily skin, this would be a good soap for that. All right. And we're gonna give this another stir. And then we're just gonna do a drop swirl with this little bit of coconut milk. And it's still pretty fluid, so that should work pretty well, or I guess I should say in the pot swirl. There we go. Let's grab our mold. And in we go. Oh, and I, of course, just missed the mold. Goodness gracious. So, of course, I also today managed to spill copper mica on the carpet. So, it's been a little bit of a messy day for me. So, hold please while I get this cleaned up a little bit. We're gonna add the rest of that coconut milk kind of just down the middle. Where is my pipette? And then we're gonna take this copper penny mica from Nurture Soap and kind of just drizzle that for some additional interest. And the soap will like absorb this mica in overnight. It won't just kind of keep setting on the top there. The oil and the mica will absorb in. And then we're just gonna give that a little swirl with a chopstick, or actually a skewer. This is just a pack of bamboo skewers I got at Dollar Tree, but they work perfect for swirling into soap. Put a little more here. And a little more over there. And that is all there is for this one. We'll let it set up for 18 to 24 hours and then we'll come back and cut. All right, and we are back to cut my turmeric and honey soap. As you can see, there is a little bit of dots throughout it, and that's just the little flecks of the turmeric. I kind of like how that looks on there. And that copper mica just gave the top a little more interest. So let's go ahead and cut. Now this was an unscented soap, so just the natural scent of the oils and butters in the turmeric is all we're gonna get there. And I think that looks really nice. This will lighten up a little more over time, but I love that kind of deep burnt red or orange that you get from the turmeric. And I have been leaning a lot more towards natural colorants, and I've really been enjoying that. I still have a ton of micas to go through, so I do want to go ahead and kind of try to use those up over time. And there's some of them I'll repurchase, like to use for little accents on the top, like I did for this one. I really love the copper penny mica from Nurture Soap, as well as their shimmering gold mica and some of their glitters. And some colors are hard to achieve with natural colorants, so you kind of got to decide if you're just gonna stay away from those colors completely and, you know, not have those in your soap, or if you'll have a little give and take where sometimes you use the micas and sometimes you don't. Black's pretty easy. Activated charcoal or like a black Brazilian clay is what I probably use the most frequently. White's a little harder, of course. Not really many ways you can get a true white without titanium dioxide, but you can get lighter colors like you see in this soap with coconut milk and some of the other milks. Like that's more of a cream, but still kind of serves its purpose and gives you a little contrast there. Red's not too hard to get now, like a brilliant red you would have trouble getting, but there's clays where you can definitely get reds. Green you can get from French green clay or like a spirulina or spinach powder, something like that. There is a yellow Brazilian clay, so that's where you can get some yellows. Purple, like you can use a purple Brazilian clay, or I think there's a French purple clay as well, but it's more of a like a pastel purple. You won't get like a bright purple from anything that I've found, at least. Is that gonna focus on the top for you guys? Maybe. And blue indigo powder, you can get a pretty nice blue from that. If you do like a heat infusion. But definitely lots of ways to achieve colors with natural colorants. They may not always be as vibrant, but like I said, there's a little give and take there. So thank you so much for being here today as we made this really pretty This really pretty turmeric and honey soap. Love that kind of burnt orange mixed in with the white of the coconut milk. And this simple little bit of copper penny mica on the top, just for a little bit of additional interest. Now some may argue that little bit of mica on the top doesn't make this an all-natural soap. To me it still is. That comes right off with the first wash, so it's not something that stays on the soap or is really something you're getting much of within the soap. So to me this guy is still all natural. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how I made it. Take care, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.